There he
Hey
is.
Jasmine, how are you?
Good, good, good. How are you?
Fantastic.
This technology, they keep on changing on us, right? They keep on updating the plan. I have to do here, I have to there, whatever.
Yeah,
Yes. So, how was your day?
busy.
Busy, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like this time of the year, we normally, most of the people think that everything is quiet. But
yeah.
you and I know when you're working in the field, we know that, it is not dead, it is
No,
active.
actually,
And
in Windsor market, I have seen, the activities picked up quite a lot,
very
especially
nice.
from last few weeks.
Okay. No, even same thing for me. Like I started from 2nd of Jan itself showing.
Mhm.
Then 1 week was like break, and then I showed like 2 weeks ago. I showed 5 homes, and till we returned, there were no multiple offer dates, nothing. These were detached properties like 1.3 and 1.4, and out of that, out of 5 homes, 3 homes had multiple offers
Yep, yep.
and they
It's
sold close to the asking. So I was telling my buyers, I said, listen, if I told you this, you wouldn't understand. Now you've seen the house, and now I'm sharing the history. You know what is happening in the market, because most of the buyers want to, like, if it is $1 million, they want to send in an offer for 800. So
yeah,
that is the
I feel
yeah.
it's our
So
responsibility as an
to
agents. We have
educate
to
people.
educate our clients. Hey, here's
Yes,
what's happening. Here's the
exactly.
stats
That is
from
what is
last
good.
month.
I know. I know. So now I don't want to waste. You're a busy man. I don't want. We can chit chat for us. We Desi people. We can keep talking, but I don't want to do that. Let's get on to the point and give you the time to share with us the knowledge that you have acquired, the experience that you have acquired, and I'm really impressed. And I also feel happy that somebody from my country has come here and
Thank
South.
you.
I'm from Karnataka, Goa, and you're from the South. And I really feel proud, Aditya. And many of us, there is a jealousy of our own people going up. But I always feel blessed to see such people and, make them my example, inspiration. And I also wanted not to keep you only to mine. I wanted to share you with my followers as well. So I just wanted to ask you, I have some questions kept.
Sure.
I'm not a very good
Yeah, yeah.
interview person, but this is happening for me for the first time, so let me do it. So I
Sure.
just wanted to know, like, what inspired you to get into real estate investing and how did you get started?
So it's a long story. I try to keep it short. Like many immigrants, I came as a student, with a lot of debts and family responsibility, financial responsibility, right? And I was uh, I was in the regular treadmill where I got finished my studies and worked in all sort of part-time jobs. I did all the hard jobs that like many of us
Yeah,
do, the immigrants do here, like
yeah,
cleaning the toilets, cleaning the dishes, whatnot. Um, Going over all those things, and took me a lot of time to figure out how to get a full-time job. Then finally I got a IT job here in Windsor. So
okay,
the job was going well, but by this time I already had like 50,000 debt from my education that I was trying to clear off,
of
and it
course.
took like with a full-time job it took me like 2.5 years, and by this time um, already during this time I know there is some more responsibility coming my way, which is my sister's wedding, which my dad's responsibility, and if it's his responsibility, it's
Yes,
comes to the son, right?
I
And
know.
it's my responsibility because he took a lot of debts for me to get me here. So that financial responsibility is coming soon. It's like, I'm counting on the days, and I realized that's when I realized, like, the money that I'm making was not enough.
Okay,
So I started with that, trying to make more money. I tried
that is what.
to, yeah. So I tried different odd jobs. While I'm working full time, I was driving Uber, doing pizza deliveries, trying e-commerce, trying to sell gadgets online, different things, and nothing was working out. Like in this process, someone recommended me this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes,
So I think that was my eye opener, learning about real estate.
Okay.
Because in that book, he talks about, why, people who are coming from a lower middle class or middle class family, because, I'm from a agricultural background. My parents are farmers, lower middle class, always work their ass off to live.
Yeah, exactly.
So
We
never had
didn't
more
have
than
extra to just spend and
exactly.
have leisure. Yeah.
Exactly. So, whereas this guy in this book, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about, why, poor people or middle class people always, just get into debts because they buy
Yes.
liabilities. And here, the other hand, rich people, they buy assets. And that book, like, literally
Right.
gave me, what the heck, this is real. And that's when I try to reflect on my stories, like, my dad and, my uncle. I had the
Yes.
similar kind of,
Of course.
not in that level, right? Like, my dad was a well-educated guy, but was working, his whole life, working really hard.
And I
Um,
think so, Aditya, in India, what has happened is, we are very conservative. Even here, like after coming so many years also, when I talk about investment and all, people buy one property and they're like, oh, I don't think so I can handle it. I don't think so I can become a landlord. So, like, we have that kind of fear built in us. We are
yeah,
very conservative. We want to see, like, I always make fun of my husband because we came from Dubai, and he always wants to see a big lump sum in his account.
yeah,
That gives him satisfaction. But I always tell him, like, make that money work for you, right? So these are the things you're really like, you have broken that norm and
yeah.
you have come out. That is a wonderful thing, wonderful thing. And like real estate, what was that thing like, you felt that in real
Mhm.
estate, this is where I can go. What was that?
So that after that book, right, all I understood from that is like real estate is the way to build your assets. That was my takeaway from that book, and I started learning about real estate.
Yes.
And then I found out, I don't really need that much money because the biggest misconception I had coming from, India, where in India, we always buy with cash. Not many people
Exactly.
buy with
We don't know about,
mortgages,
and
right?
mortgages were
Exactly.
not there until
The
few years
leverage,
ago, like 10,
leverage
20
is
years
not there.
ago.
Exactly.
Yes.
I have no idea that leverage exists until even I was in Canada by this time. This is in 2016. I was in Canada by like 4 years by now, and I was working full time. I have a good job. I was making like 80,000 salary. But I didn't know about that leverage chart because all I was thinking I need money. At that point in time in Windsor, the properties were selling under 100,000 for okay houses.
Yes.
But I thought I need 100,000 cash. That's why I never
100,000.
looked into it. I never looked into it. And then after reading that book, and I learned, I Googled more, okay, how to buy a house, real estate in Canada. And then I understood I don't need that much money because there is a thing called 5% down for a primary
Yes.
resident owner. If you're buying a house for you to live in, even if it's 2 unit property, you can still, buy it for 5% down. Even if
Exactly.
you need money for renovations, the banks are willing to give.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Purchase
that was like,
price.
okay, that means I don't need money because that was my biggest challenge to get into the real estate.
Exactly.
Okay. And, like I mentioned, at that time the prices were so low. Even now, like, you just need 20,000 to get in. At that time, I saved up every penny for 4 or 5 months and I saved up like 10,000. And I
Okay.
got my first duplex, lived in one unit, rented out the other unit, let the other
Mm.
unit pay for most of the expenses.
Okay. So that is
So
how you do.
yeah,
Yes.
that taste, that's when I realized, okay,
It's
oh my God,
blood.
just one,
Lahu lag
exactly.
gaya.
Yeah, because, one property was paying almost, all my expenses are gone. And now
Yes.
I'm saving on my rent.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, this like, all of a sudden my income, even though my
Yeah.
income hasn't changed, but my expenses reduced by $1,000, $1,500.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
And that's
here
the
I'm building an
same.
asset.
Exactly. And that is
So
appreciating as well.
yeah, exactly. So that was like very addictive. And from then I was like just thinking all about, okay, how can I get my next one?
Exactly.
How can I get my next one?
Definitely.
That's how, it rolled up.
On that point, this person also, he's an IT guy, I just want to share mine. Like, I'm like so inspired with what you're telling. And I was shocked when this person did this. He was renting and we just came. He wanted to meet me. He came with his wife to my office. And I was just talking about, because he wanted to plan to buy his principal home. They were renting. I think so here, he came from States. So they were here for 2 or 3 years, but both of them had good job, but they had a lot of commitment back home. Right. So what happened was, while I was explaining to him, I said, his name is Ram. He'll see it. I told him, I said, Ram, you don't have to like stay with one property. I know you're having good jobs, but you build your real estate portfolio. So I was telling him, after buying your principal home, wait for some time, then you invest into your second property, because he's having a school going kid. And I told him that, you invest into a rental property, and till he goes to the university, this will appreciate, rather than putting it in RRSP, put it here, and you can use that money to pay off his education. He'll not have any loans, right?
Yeah.
This man, you know what he did? He had like around 25,000. Okay, after a week, he calls me. And he said, Jasmine, I need 3 months to bring funds from India, and then we will plan for the purchase. He said, can we buy something? I said, what? You told me you need 3 months. He said, no, not my principal home. I want to buy a rental property. The following week, we go and buy a property of 500,000. No, for 450. 450, one bedroom. Immediately, we put it on rent. He's still staying in a rental place, okay? After 2 years, then they had some work thing and all going on. He waited for a year because he was paying very little rent in the 3 bedroom where he was staying. He bought a place, refinancing that condo.
There you go.
He brought a principal home. And
Yeah.
I was like, my God, like you did it in reverse, but it still worked,
Yeah.
So this is what, like, it's true. It's very nice. True. Like, I feel happy sharing this thing.
Exactly. That's the power, right? Like the real estate, if you do it right, if you're
Right.
not trying to over leverage, or if you're not trying to gamble, because there are a lot of people gamble in real estate.
Exactly.
They just only buy because they think that market is going up.
Yes.
But if
And
you're
this
doing
is
with
always
some fundamental,
yes. So because it is buy and hold, that is what is the main this thing of getting into. You're there? Okay. So I just needed to know, like, what strategies do you have to find an investment property? Like, what do you look into an investment property when you're searching?
Yeah, so for me, the biggest thing is the cash flow. Because, if I want to hold multiple properties, if I have to pay every month from my pocket, at some point, what if I don't have an active income, right? We are realtors.
Yeah.
We might have income this month, we might not have income next month.
Correct.
So if I'm looking to buy an investment property, I look at, okay, can that property pay for itself with all is the income sufficient enough to pay all the expenses?
So the property should take care of itself. Money
is it in a
wants
decent
to
location?
ask a question.
Sure.
Yes, guys, if you all have any questions, keep posting, and then we will answer as it comes. You can see the chats as well, right, Adi? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Money, if you can ask a question, we will answer. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So feel free to ask any questions you guys have. So thank you for joining. I know the live sessions is to interact with you. So this is for you. Oh, can I join? I don't know if the Instagram allow for 3 people.
I don't know. We are good in technology, but not that much. We are good, but we don't.
I don't think Instagram allow for 3 people. So
you can just put it. Money. You can put your question in the comment, and we will answer. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, sir. I stopped you. Yeah. So the cash flow is the important thing for you.
So that's number one. Number two, is it in a good location? Can I find decent tenants?
Okay.
And I'm not looking at the best locations, because the best locations generally don't cash flow. I'm not looking for the worst locations, because the worst locations, you always have tenant issues. And I want that sweet spot where it's like B minus, B plus, B neighborhoods where it's nice and decent neighborhood, where I can get good rents. Like in Windsor, my favorite pocket is like Walkerville, East Windsor. Some of them who like the university area, the university side, because it's all students. So those are the areas, I look for. If I find those two requirements, then, I would dig more into it, get an inspection, get all those things.
Okay. And the question is about, I always get asked, student rental. When you're looking for financing, there is a bit of problem, isn't it?
So, I mean, look, both student rental have their own set of challenges. Family rentals have their own set of challenges.
Okay.
With student rentals, especially when you're buying, when you're renting it to international students, because that's the majority of the students here, right?
Yeah.
Like at least 80% or 70% of the students that are going to rent your place are international. So one challenge, again, I don't say it as a problem because, you can tackle those challenges. I have student rentals and I do rent for international people. Here's what I do. First of all, they don't know how the houses are here because they're still new to the country.
Yes.
So you have to give them the directions. You have to tell them, look, you cannot use the water on the floor because, back home we have a habit of, cleaning your legs, all those things. So if you don't tell them, they're not going to do it.
Okay.
Because we are, we are humans. Like once we have a habit, to change that habit, it takes time.
Yes.
So someone has to tell you this is right and this is wrong. So that's the first step. You have to have patience and you have to have a mindset of, okay, see where they're coming from and, understand that and guide them along there. And so that's number one. Number two, if they're students, they don't have time to clean the place.
Correct. Yes.
So
yes.
I
that
provide
is the main problem
service.
what I've seen.
Most of the student rentals, I provide cleaning services, unless if it's a couple who can take care, wife and husband, generally they clean their own place. But, the other way around, if it's just pure, students only, then I send a cleaner every 2 weeks. So the property gets cleaned. So that way, one, it takes care of two major problems.
Exactly.
I have a cleaning service that goes in every 2 weeks. So number one, they're busy with the cleaning. They cannot do that because they're busy with the studies or part-time, because I've been there. I know there is no time. Even if there is time, we just watch TV and, just chill out. So when the cleaning service goes in, number one, your property is secure because, if there's any water leaks, sometimes they don't even have time to call you, say, hey, there is a water leak. They don't know. Or they're just ignoring because they have some other things going in your brain. Or, my friend will call and this, that. So that challenge is gone. No mold issues, no cockroach issues when everything is cleaned up. All the food is picked up from the floor. So that's a major thing. I see, some student houses, has a realtor. I feel so bad for the landlords. It's very simple step, just hiring a cleaning service.
Hiring a cleaning service, yes.
Mold everywhere in the ceilings, in the washroom, mold on the walls. Because kids, they don't clean the washrooms. They say, okay, you clean today, and that never gets cleaned. And also now I have a little bit more control over the property because my cleaner coming every 2 weeks, they know, okay, this person is going to take pictures and send it to the owner. So they cannot be more than people who signed on the lease.
Exactly. So Mani is asking a question. He is in... Okay. Can we just take questions in between and then go ahead with the thing?
Yeah, let me see here. I see Imran. What is the best prospecting strategy? So if you're talking about sales, the best prospecting strategy, what we are doing right now, we are on Instagram talking about real estate, sharing our, experience. So sharing your knowledge, and 30 people are watching, those 30 people, one of them could be our client, right? If this is helpful for them, they're going to call us.
Yes.
If they need help in Windsor, they're going to call me. If they need help in Brampton, they're going to call Jasmine. So being on social media, sharing information that, people are looking for, educating people, if needed, entertaining people in a different forms, some funny things, different things like that. Because that's the biggest thing. I only do social media. I don't have any other prospecting strategy.
Exactly. Okay, so Mani is asking, he is in Saskatchewan, and
so I'm 19. I want to get an investment property. I have looked into some. Is condo worth it for the first property? I'm scared to buy the first one and very confused. So, Mani, first of all, if you're 19 and already thinking of real estate, kudos to you.
Yes.
I wish, we all wanted to start a long time ago,
Yeah.
5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? So,
Yes.
kudos to you. Number two, the fear will never go away if you don't take a step.
Definitely.
So, is condos worth it? I would not say yes. I would not say no.
No,
All I would
it
say
depends.
is find a good realtor in your area, whichever the city you're in. Find a good realtor who understands your needs. If you have to talk to two, three, four people, and pick one who is, who really understand your needs, because it could so many things goes in there. How much money you have, how much you qualify for, and what are the price points, and how much is the condo fees, how much money you
Property
have to
tax.
spend every month, what is the
Yes.
property tax, and what are the things you want to do, what are the things you don't want to do. So because
Yes.
for some people condo is a great investment,
Yeah.
for some people it's not.
It is not. And money,
So
if you need a referral for the places, anybody, all who, if you're not from Ontario or you're not from Windsor and GTA, if you need any referral for any realtors, feel free to reach out to us because we have a network and
yeah,
we will definitely put you to the right person, like-minded we associate with, and we will definitely help you out. That is
yeah,
for sure. Okay, then the next question I have, it is money only. Money is like he is on fire. Okay,
yeah.
so do
So
we need a PR to
no,
complete the realtor certification?
no,
Yes,
no,
you
no.
did.
They actually
No,
changed. They
they
actually
did.
changed.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm like
So
17 years, so I don't remember
yes, yes.
that time.
Even when I started, it was a mandatory, and then
Yeah,
now I have my cousin who is still on work permit. He got his license. He is already making sales now.
perfect,
You don't need, at least in
perfect.
Ontario.
Okay. It's better to give 5% or 20% down for the first property.
So
Again,
Mani,
money, it all depends. It
maybe I'll
depends on
give some pointers
situation.
here.
Yes.
In my opinion, I even made a video saying never pay 20% down if you can. Because I see a lot of advantages, especially you're 19 years old. So you can take advantage of the leverage. So yes, you will not have a cash flow. You might have $100, $200 negative because you're leveraging, you're taking more loan and you're having a CMHC insurance. But look, you're gonna have extra 15% in your hand. Like let's say you're buying a
Yes.
500,000 home, you can buy for 25,000. If you're putting 20% down, you're buying for 700,000. So this extra $70,000, you can do a lot more things. You can improve the
Yes.
property. You can use some money for contingency. When if you don't have a tenant come in doesn't pay for next 6 months, you can have this 25,000 savings set aside for that particular property. So now you don't have to worry about what if I don't get the rents.
That,
So the advantages are more if you are, leveraging. But like Jasmine mentioned, it could be the other way around. Like if you're someone like, in 50s, you are doing well off, you already have too many properties. You don't want to, leverage that much. You want to have a safe ride. You want to put your mortgages down. You have, good amount of savings, good amount of job. Then because, now I don't put 5% down because, now I want to pay down my mortgages because
yes.
I leveraged already. I bought multiple properties. That is good enough. If I now my goal is to pay down them, so I can completely have a freedom from the real estate. So
Definitely.
um,
And
coming
another
with
point on down payment, 5% is only for the property. It's a principal property. If you're buying an investment property, then you have to have 20%. So what we suggest is, convert the principal home into your investment property and move on to your next house where you can still buy it in 5%.
yeah,
And that's how, and this is something that is why you need a good lender. You need a good realtor on your side. Like it's not something that, oh, somebody's giving you a cashback or somebody's doing. Don't go for those things because when you're buying a $500,000 or $1 million property, you need right people on your team, and that is something which like many people don't understand. They think, oh my God, that fellow is giving me cashback, so I want to go and do it myself. Fair enough. If it is working for you, nobody is going to stop you. It is your decision. But you want to succeed, have a good team on your side and be loyal to each other. The realtor has to be loyal to your client and the clients also, and it goes a long way. Like everybody grows together. Yes. Anything? Can you see the
Yeah, I
questions?
can see the question. So I see next question is from Richie. I had a question. Looking for investment property, does second or third owner resale property appreciate less in value as compared to newer property? That's a big, big, big myth.
Yeah.
If I have to just buy newer properties, I would not have bought even one property as of now.
Yeah.
Even my biggest last acquisition was $3.4 million multifamily, 1970s,
Yeah.
and it's freaking solid. It's not about the appreciation, generally depends overall city. The newer property, you're getting brand new and you're paying the price. And
Yeah.
if the appreciation, the city appreciation happens, it will happen accordingly.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be a minor difference. You will have more peace of mind because you paid premium price.
Of
Yeah,
course.
but all the little, if you have a solid mechanical system and roofing system and all the plumbing and electrical has been updated and the foundation is solid, both problems
It
can
doesn't
have same maintenance
matter.
issues.
Exactly. So just for
So
example, like the properties in Toronto, which are like 50, 60 years old, or maybe 70, like now I'm 50, yeah. If you are 70 years old, they are still in good condition. It is just that, you may have to do like the cosmetic changes, and it will be compared to the newer properties what you're getting. And newer properties, you're always driving. Now, again, it depends on each person what their requirement is. People who want to be in a hustle bustle already, which is a city which is grown, then you're not going to get newer properties because most of the Toronto, like, major main areas, they're already built up. There's no land.
yeah,
You have to go far. So it is your choice what meets your lifestyle. And even in
yeah.
buying resale, I mean, for investment property, you got to see that you might buy a house in Timbuktu, but are you going to get renters? That is also you have to
Yeah.
assess. It's not just about buying properties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And with the new and old, the old one advantage is if you're buying a property that is outdated, especially you're talking about investment. So if it's outdated, you can force the value. Whereas
Exactly.
newer, you're already buying at the value. So
Value.
you cannot really force the value. Another
Definitely.
advantage with the resale is, with the new construction, generally you're paying the top dollar. So when you're paying the top dollar, generally they will not positive cash flow. So that's
Exactly.
why
And
in my
also it is
portfolio, I only have one new construction property. The rest, everything are resale, at
resale.
least 50 years old.
And also like the pre-construction, yes, it's a good idea, but it also comes with its own merits and demerits. Yes, like I know I had a client who just wanted to buy a new home because she wanted the fresh smell, the new smell in the house. And I was like, okay, I'll get you the new smell. I can buy a perfume of a new construction home and get you a smell. She just wanted the smell. So she went for a new reconstruct. That's okay.
Yeah.
It suits you, right? That is what it is.
And
Okay.
exactly, that's nothing wrong, right? Like if you're financially strong and if you can
Yeah.
qualify for it and you love it, especially when you're going for primary, it makes a lot more sense because if when it's a primary, you want to have the house the way you want. You have your own choices, and it's a place where you're going to rest your day, your body every
Of
day. So
course.
that's. I won't comment on the personal side.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
see that diesel. What are the pros and cons of multi-bedroom versus multi-unit? I know the multi-unit cost more, multi-bedroom attract students mostly. What else to consider? So first of all, understand that multi-bedroom is nothing but a single family home. So you have
yeah.
one family home and you're renting it to one family or a group of people.
Yes.
So there is different laws, right? Like you already said it, the cost is first, of course. But with the multi-units, biggest thing is they're separate legal units. So fire separation, all those things. Whereas multi-bedroom, every cities have different bylaws. Look into the city, see what their restrictions. Every city has different things. Like right now in Windsor, they started a licensing. So in that university area, every property like the bedrooms has to be up to the code. The building code, of course, any property does have to, but when you're renting for one house, a
Yes.
common washroom, common kitchen, and multiple
Yes.
students, obviously
Yes.
they're going to be some more extra efforts that you need to put into to keep that coordination well.
Yes. And even in, I think, so City of Waterloo, they have a licensing. I got it done for one of my clients. And we don't have it in Peel, like we have not seen it. But you're right, like when it is, then who else is there? Who else is there? Who else is there? Okay. What insurance company do you have your portfolio, especially the properties which are on a holding company, corporation?
I work with a broker who is smart enough to find me different insurance companies, and I'll be sounding like a dumb person here. I don't know which companies they are because that's my wife's department. Um, she
Maybe
deals
we
with
can
him,
have
but
a chat with live with her on her
yeah, she's
expertise.
also on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Mamta Reddy
Mamta,
Soma, that's
right?
her name.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
See,
maybe
we are,
DM her. But
yeah,
generally, for insurance companies, maybe the company that I'm working with might not be the right one for you because it depends on which city you're in.
yes,
Every city has a different companies that offers better. The companies that are, local companies offer better because they know the city better. So
yeah.
nowadays, what I have seen, like TD is offering pretty competitive rates.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I don't know if they offer on corporation, but Desjardins is one of the one that when I was dealing with the insurances, my guy used to put me through Desjardins,
Okay.
and there was other companies, but yeah, it's
But you have
just
to shop. Like I always say that insurance is something that you need to shop
yeah.
and see what it is. It won't be like tailored, like one something which is fixed for investment person. No, you have to shop. You have
Yeah,
to shop.
exactly.
Okay. My fingers are going everywhere. Can you also talk about the procedure, how to start realtor certification? Adi, you have
I
recently
have a
taken
full video actually. I haven't taken recently. It's been
a
4 years
4
now.
years. Okay.
And when I took
I'm
was a
ancient.
different course, but I
Yes.
made a video on that. If you search uh, Ontario real estate license,
Yeah.
how to get real estate license in Ontario, you'll find my video. I made a detailed video, like 20 minutes video.
Perfect.
It's a long conversation. I don't even remember some of the things now,
Yeah. No, the
but
thing is what it is through Humber College now, right? Like for us over here in Ontario, I don't know. So Humber College. Earlier it
yeah,
was my time. It was like what Oria we used to go
Oria.
directly.
Yeah, we took with Oria. I also
Wait,
took with
you
Oria.
also
Now it's
took, right?
Humber. Yeah,
Humber started in I think so 18 or 19, no?
yeah, 19 or 20.
And how much it cost? We don't have that answer, Sunny. As you said, like you'll just have to call Humber College and they will give you all the information.
Yeah.
Sahas. Yes, with that stuff. Thanks, Sahas. I appreciate you guys. So if we refinance, is it better to get another property with that cash or pay off the house you already have?
So let me read that question once again.
You're saying that do
If you
you, with the
refinance,
remaining,
is it short pay off the house? I mean, again, that's again depends on your personal goals, right? It goes back to what do you want to do? If your goal is to expand your portfolio, if you want to have, and if same money who is 19 years old,
yes,
why do you want to pay down? If you have a long way to go, maybe have a couple of properties until you have like, a handful of properties that will help you to live your rest of the life. Then leverage until then, and then start paying down. So it
definitely.
depends on what's your goal at the end.
Yes. And Varun Bachcha is asking, are you partnering up or just buying yourself?
Mostly buying myself and big multifamilies. Whenever I get a multifamily, I bring on investors. I cannot chew everything. I have
Of
to
course, of course, of
give some
course,
piece
of
of
course.
pie for everyone
Definitely,
possible.
definitely. Okay. There was a property with 3 rooms upstairs, basement suite. Was not finished. I'd be getting 2100 from upstairs. Was thinking to finish basement later. Is it worth it? It was 269. Money, this question basically will have the local realtor would know because now we will only know like Adi will know what is happening in Windsor. I would be able to tell you what is
Exactly. We can
happening
only
in,
talk
yeah,
very roughly about the numbers. Okay, numbers make sense, how your mortgage and your expenses,
yes,
but location we don't know.
yes.
Condition of
And
the property we don't know.
exactly. So you send me a message and I'll get you a realtor who can help you out over there, and that would be the best. Okay, okay, okay. Let's go quickly. Can you comment on taxation on investment property in Ontario on capital gains? Hmm.
So, I mean, there's one big advantage if you're doing buying a primary home, improving it and selling after 1 year, you don't have any taxes. That's a big advantage. A lot of people, I know some people who does that very strategically. They buy a house just that needs some cosmetic. They live in there. They do some renovations while they're living. They live there for 1, 2, 3 years and they sell it because as much as they make on their full-time job during that time, they make sometimes more than that because no taxes. Now you're increasing your income. And for rest of the other strategies, I would say,
It's 50%,
it's a
isn't
long,
it?
what's that? Yeah,
Isn't it 50%?
yes, generally it's a 50% on the net income.
Yes.
50% is not the tax bracket. 50% of the income is taxable income.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's say you bought a 500,000 property and you sold it for $1 million and you didn't spend anything. You just bought it and you sold it. So you made 500,000, right? So out of that 500,000, 50%
50.
is not taxable. And the remaining 50% is taxable income. So that means they add that income to your personal income.
Yes.
If it's a
Yes.
corporation, again, the different tax laws. I think this
Yes.
is where, sit down with the accountant. But
Tax cut.
in
Yes.
general, remember this, you have more advantages of owning a real estate than, just working full time because you have a lot of write-off opportunities. You can,
Definitely. Definitely.
defer your taxes and all those things.
Exactly. And when you purchase your initial investment property, did you prefer multi-family option?
I did reverse engineering. I didn't decide based on do I want to buy a multifamily or do I want to buy a single family. I
Okay.
looked at, okay, how much money can I pool? Because I was like, after money was the biggest challenge
Of
for me
course.
to buy the second property. So I had at that point, like this is in 2017. I got my first property in March, and then I started looking for my second property in almost like September. So
Okay.
at that point, all I had like was 30,000. So I'm like, okay, what can I get in this 30,000? What is the best possible investment option available in this 30,000? Because, we can talk about multifamily as a good advantage, single families. I have single family.
But
I
it's
have
the buying power end of the
yeah,
day.
exactly.
It's the buying power.
There's no point even discussing too much when I
Yes.
didn't have money to buy a 4 unit building because a 4 unit obviously great because I have four tenants that are paying me rents. If one doesn't pay, I still have three other units that can pay me rent. But if I don't qualify for it,
Of course. It doesn't.
instead of waiting for 3 years, 2 years to save that money, what I did, I just first focused on buying my second property with whatever the investment I can coop up.
Definitely. Definitely. Now Ram is asking, I hope he's not my Ram. Okay. Do we have 1031 exchange in
I wish.
Canada? Okay.
I wish.
I have to figure out what it is. Okay.
So basically in US, they have a 1031 exchange. Basically what it means is you're selling a property. Let's say you owned for 5 years and you have that same, let's say, go back to the same example. You have a net income of 500,000. So
Okay.
now you have that net income, right? You don't want to pay the taxes. So what we can do, they'll give you like 2 months period or something. If you buy another property with the whole amount, now you don't have to pay taxes because the now tax
Okay.
is deferred into that property.
That property. Okay. Okay.
So that's a cool thing. That's why you see a lot more transactions in US. In Canada, people hold for long run. I
But
think
then
that's one
again,
reason.
what I liked about 2017, also 2008 to 2017, even if we dipped, Canadian market, I know we are like very, how to say, traditional and conservative, but our values have not dropped down like what has happened in US. It has not gone like that. It has been steady. So that's why, like, being a realtor also, like, for me, I feel confident when I'm talking to somebody that you are not going to go wrong. You are
Yeah.
okay doing investing over here. Okay, Anudeep is asking, can a person own a house who is on an open permit with full-time job for the past 8 months? It is 3 years now, right? You
Yeah,
have to
so
be
unfortunately
foreign.
in Ontario or in Canada, you cannot unless if you have 3 years full-time work. It's not about mortgages. The Canada actually banned
Yeah,
people,
foreign
in your
buyers.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so technically you're a foreign buyer, unless you become creative, you find a partner who has a permanent residency who can, not put you on the title. Do I have a JV agreement on the side,
You're,
or a
you're,
cousin or
you're
a sister?
you're reminding me of those Bollywood movies where they used to have the fake marriage to get the residence in US.
Yeah, yeah, there are other options, right? Creative ways. I would
Yeah,
not call it unethical, right? It's ethical.
of course, of
If you
course.
have a good friend who has I helped a couple of clients like that. There were
Yeah,
like two friends. One of them have money, the other one don't have money, but they have PR.
yes,
Good
yes, yes,
partnership, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, very true. I have a company. Is it better to buy under my personal name or under the corporation, in your opinion?
Money, that's a very long discussion. And
Yeah,
honestly, that's really changes from person to person. And really, really, this specific question, right? Corporation have their own advantages, personal have their own advantages. In
and even
general,
corporation, it should be holding companies. Like you
yes,
can buy
yes.
properties in holding companies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do have properties on holding company. Most of them are on holding company, some of them on personal. But I'll give you some pros and cons. One, with the corporations, you have less liability when it comes
yeah.
to the, when someone
But
sue you, those things. Um, and another pro is, again, this could be iffy area where when you're looking to buy another property, you have one on corporation, you're going to buy another one. When they pull the credit history, sometimes the properties on corporation doesn't show up on the credit history. So
okay.
what mortgage people do, they don't disclose that
Yes.
because
Yes.
they
Okay.
didn't ask it. Now this is a company, right? Even
Yes.
though, uh, but also there are some challenges. Generally, when you're going on corporation, you have higher interest rate and
Yeah.
you have a little bit challenging to qualify for mortgage because now you have to personally guarantee and who is all the directors, and all the directors on the corporation should be qualified for mortgage. So there is a lot of pros and cons. I would say, this is an area where I would definitely, whenever I make that decision, I call my accountant. Even now,
Yes.
I call my accountant and ask, okay, here's the situation, here's the plan with this project, here's what I'm planning to do, here's how many partners I have, what do you want
Yeah.
me to do? What is the best thing to do right now?
Correct. Anyways, I think, did you realize we are 45 minutes jibber
Yep.
jabbering?
Yep. So probably, we'll stay live another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, guys, if you still want to continue the chat, I'm going live on my YouTube at 7 o'clock. So join me there. We'll talk more about what's happening in Windsor market. Last month data, about the interest rates, because a lot of announcements came about interest rates, all those things.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Aditya,
No, thank
for
thank you for
accepting
having
my
me.
invite. Yes, and I like there were at one point I saw around 37 people. It was amazing. And guys, like we will be. I'll try to download it and put it on the platform, and we'll take care of it. And thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank
And
you,
maybe
Jasmine.
we should do it sometime, one more time,
Sure.
in near future. We will plan and do it. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
And bye,
See you
guys.
later.
Thanks for watching. Namaskara. I learned that too.